So we're inside the last 21 minutes of the SportsMax zone for this Friday. It was a highly competitive 2024 season in the Trinidad and Tobago Secondary Schools Football League, the SSFL. And on Thursday, the top players and teams were awarded for their exploits at the Couva Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce, with Intercol champion St. Benedict's College star Daryl Zoom Garcia and Pleasantville's Nikita Gosine crowned male and female players of the year. The schools also received their championship trophies, including Fatima College, who won the boys' premiership after initial winner St. Benedict's College were docked points for the use of Garcia, who was deemed ineligible for 4 matches. The Honorable Michael Dowlath, the Minister of Education, urged the student athletes to envision themselves beyond their shores.
And I want all of our students who are here to take this phrase with you. Think global and act local. When you play in school, when you train, think about yourself as being on an international field. With the media, with the internet, with social media, every time you go out, you represent. You represent your community, you represent your school, you represent the league, you represent Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, that's the new TNT Minister of Education there. Now, the SSFL president, Mereri Gonzalez, was pleased to conclude another successful season and believes the league is making strides.
Way of improvement, and therefore, as we celebrate for 2024, the 60th anniversary, and this being the award ceremony of the 60th anniversary, there are things that we have achieved, and there are things that we have also recognized that we need to tweak, to rectify, to correct in moving forward. We can only do that with you and all of us together, making a difference to ensure that the secondary school football league remains the prominent entity that it is, as the mission statement says, to be the best youth league tournament not within Trinidad and Tobago, not within the CFU, which is the Caribbean Football Union, but within the CONCACAF region.
Yeah, and we must say we have enjoyed coverage of the TNT SSFL seasons for several years now on SportsMax. Of course, this schoolboy football and schoolgirls championship producing a lot of the quality players for the TNT international market, not only for clubs, overseas, but also for the national team.
Yeah, and one of the things I've always felt a lot of pride about is, one, I come from Trinidad and Tobago, as you know, SSFL, something I grew up watching as a young girl, and it was always a very competitive competition, right? And one of the things when I joined the SportsMax team I was happy about is that, one, and sometimes I think people take these things for granted, and the fact that we were able to put this football competition on television, and of course give the players the ability to get footage of what they were doing so that they could now share with their agents and different competitions that they want to take part in. I felt like whatever we did in that aspect was for the greater good, and it's something that I felt really, really proud about, because many a times Lance and Ricardo, players would reach out to me and say, I want to get the footage of this match, and I would take it upon me to go out of my way to get these matches, because I'm like, you don't know how much it would impact this youngster's life, sharing it with an agent, something so simple. So, I mean, sometimes we take what we do for granted. I know y'all don't, but, you do it every day. So you think, okay, this is just part of the routine. But I know it really, really affected and benefited the youngsters. And that point aside now, I'm not surprised that Daryl Zoom Garcia was named the Male Player of the Year. Of course, he gave us so much joy watching him score those goals and everything for St. Benedict's College. So congratulations to the male and female winners, because, I mean, they entertained us, for sure.
Yeah, specifically to Zoom Garcia, it speaks to his quality that he was deemed ineligible for 4 matches, which ultimately cost his team the premiership title. And still, He's been named the most valuable player for the season. It really does speak to the type of quality that he has, if we didn't already know.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he is part of the Trinidad and Tobago senior team now.
I met him when he came to Jamaica
Yeah.
with Dwight York.
there
Very,
you
very
go.
shy person, but not on the field.
As most of them tend to be at that
When they're
age,
young.
yeah. And as they mature, then you often, with maturity
And confidence.
then you start to see a slightly different side of them. But yeah, and I also want to say that, ceremonies like these are so important because, yes, you go out there, you play well, you win, and you celebrate. You have, the different celebrations at your individual schools or whatever the case might be. But when you get an opportunity to gather like the way they did yesterday, it is significant because it is something that the youngsters will never forget beyond that day. And it is so important, the pictures that they take, the videos that they take from an occasion such as that will live on for a long time in their memories, and they will, in many years, be able to look back and reflect on a season where they worked hard and they were able to reap the rewards. And I'm very happy to see that the award ceremony continues. It's an annual event, and I think it's a fantastic annual event, and they should continue to do it because it really is important for the youngsters who put in a lot of hard work throughout the campaign.
Yeah, and as we said, it's the platform for these youngsters to develop into, top-class individuals. The Minister Dowlett spoke at the function last night about while he was principal at Naparima, he remembered Nicholas Paul representing the school in the intercall under 16s. And now he has the pleasure of seeing Nicholas Paul as being one of the world's best track cyclists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Quixelance, even if they don't go on to become world-class footballers or footballers any at all, it's important because these youngsters, some of them will become presidents of the various association or general secretaries or vice presidents. They will be involved in one way or another, or many of them are likely to be involved in one way or another. And so it's very important that they have positive impressions
Yes.
of what the sport can offer, even at this level. So when it's their time to give back, they can do the same.
Yeah.
I hear some music.
Yeah, it means...
Which means we're out of time. We go to
Yeah.
break, and we'll be back with the last segment of our show after this.
Yeah.
Welcome to SSFL Premiership Division.